Judge Jackson, welcome back to the Senate Judiciary Committee. Now, the last time you were before us, just less than a year ago, I recall that you mentioned that every once in a while, you make it a point to walk a few blocks from your courthouse to the National Archives. Now, as we all know, the National Archives is where the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights are housed. You shared that you go there and reflect on the momentousness of the office that you hold. And it's a fitting place, these archives, to be reminded of our nation's highest ideals, our pursuit of a union that is more fair, that is more free, and that is striving to be more perfect. It's also a place to see how for 2.5 centuries, our democracy has remained a work in progress. And that it's incumbent upon all of us, yes, as a nation, but each of us as individuals to continue making that progress. Now, the men who wrote our founding documents could never have imagined that you would one day be here. A former public defender, a proud graduate of a public high school, a working mom, and yes, the first Black woman nominated to serve on the nation's highest court. Colleagues, our founding fathers also could never have imagined that the senators sitting before Judge Jackson would include the first women to represent California, Hawaii, and Tennessee, the first Jewish man to represent Georgia, the first Hispanic man to represent Texas, the first Black man to represent New Jersey. Nor could they have imagined that the list would include me. I'm here as a proud son of immigrants from Mexico who came to this country with little formal education, but with big dreams and a tremendous work ethic. And it's because of the decades of hard work and sacrifice by Santos and Lupe Padilla, my dad as a short order cook, my mom as a housekeeper, that I've enjoyed tremendous opportunities in my life. And that includes the honor of representing the state of California in the United States Senate and of being the first Latino to do so. So like so many of us in this room, I'm blessed to live the American dream. Now, looking around, you can see that the strides that our democracy has made towards strengthening our institutions by including more voices and more perspectives. Judge Jackson, if you're confirmed, we'll take another step towards making our government better reflect the America that it serves, towards making the promise of America more real. And we know that progress doesn't come easily. Breaking barriers and being the first means not just significant opportunity, but tremendous responsibility. But Judge Jackson, I also know that you're equipped with a tremendous record of experience and accomplishment, and you are ready to blaze this trail. A trail that your grandparents may have found unfathomable, but one that your daughters and my sons and future generations will now see as a natural part of the American story. Judge Jackson, even before your next opinion or dissent, your appearance before us today already begins a new chapter in our nation's history. And I can say for certain that by the end of these hearings, those watching across the country will know of your outstanding qualifications, your experience, and your accomplishments, which bear repeating over and over again. A public education, including graduating from Miami Palmetto High School. I see that smile. Followed by degrees from Harvard College and Harvard Law School, clerkships at the Federal District Court, the Federal Court of Appeals, and the United States Supreme Court. 2 years as a federal public defender. 2 years as a staff member of the United States Sentencing Commission, and 4 years as its vice chair. You've been confirmed by this Senate, not once, not twice, 3 times, each on a bipartisan basis, including 2 lifetime judicial appointments. And you bring nearly a decade of judicial experience, which, by the way, is more than the combined total of 4 of the currently sitting justices at the time they were nominated. So yes, you are clearly more than qualified to serve as a justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. And yes, you bring a wealth of other important experiences and perspectives to the court, including as a working mother and as a Black woman. Now, in these hearings, I look forward to speaking further about your background, your experiences, both on and off the bench, and your approach to the law. But based on our conversations already, and my review of your record, I believe you have the expertise, the insight, and the heart to elevate the weighty deliberations of the Supreme Court. Now, every year the Supreme Court decides dozens of cases that shape the fundamental rights and lives of the American people. Only a small percentage of those cases will ever be highlighted in history books, make the front page of newspapers, or go viral on social media. But the choices of the Supreme Court will certainly shape the future of labor rights, voting rights, women's rights, criminal justice, immigration, technology, environmental protection, and so much more. I also want to be clear about something important. If you're confirmed, I don't expect to agree with every detail of every decision that you make. That's not my test. That is not our test. Our job on this committee is to make sure that the next justice will honor the rule of law and the principle of equal justice for all. We must ensure that the next justice will help the Supreme Court live up to its responsibility to the American people. And yes, America is watching. America is watching these hearings to see what the future holds, not just for themselves, but for the court as well. Judge Jackson, like you, I believe in the greatness and the promise of this nation. I believe that we can continue building on our dream of a more perfect union, and that includes building a government that better reflects and represents the people that it serves. It's a dream that we've spent 2.5 centuries struggling to realize. And while this hearing may not be the last step on that journey, it is a momentous step forward indeed. Judge Jackson, you're an outstanding nominee for our nation's highest court. And I thank you for your service. And I thank you for sharing your faith in America's promise, a faith that is stronger because you know how far our nation has come. And Mr. Chair, before closing, and with your indulgence, I'd like to share a few words in Spanish on the importance of this nomination. La Corte Suprema decide docenas de casos cada año que afectan nuestras vidas y nuestros derechos fundamentales. Y esas decisiones afectarán el futuro de nuestro país a través de temas como el derecho al voto, inmigración, protección ambiental, derechos laborales y mucho más. Esta semana el Senado y el país verán lo preparada y calificada que está la jueza Jackson para la Corte Suprema. Espero escuchar más sobre la jueza y las perspectivas importantes y necesarias que traería a la Corte Suprema. Judge Jackson, I look forward to your testimony over the next few days, and I thank you, Mr. Chairman.